Our story begins in a little house in Omaha, America, 1936.
Oh no, it's morning already! I've gotta hurry!
Yes, the little boy you're looking at right now is Warren Buffett. Before the world came to know him as a legendary investor, he was once just an ordinary boy. And this is the story of his childhood, a story many people may have never heard before.
Grandpa, I'm here to pick up the goods.
They're ready for you. Go on inside and get them.
This 6-year-old boy came to pick up goods from his grandfather every morning, so he could sell them along the roadside.
Warren, aren't you forgetting something?
Uh-oh, I completely forgot. I forgot to pay. Wait, Grandpa!
What is it?
My change, please.
Uh-oh, completely forgot too. At that time, America was still trapped in the shadow of the Great Depression. Wall Street had already crashed. Banks had failed one after another. People spent their money carefully. And Warren began to notice something. When money was hard to come by, no one wanted to spend a large amount on candy or little treats. So he opened the packages and sold them piece by piece for just a few coins. He was selling affordable happiness in a world where happiness...
I'd like one piece of candy, please. How much is it?
1 cent, ma'am.
For Warren, at that time, he may not have realized it yet, but this was his very first lesson. Because what he was doing was not so different from buying and selling stocks. If he bought low enough, sold to people who wanted it, and kept doing it over and over, even small coins could truly grow into something bigger. That year, this 6-year-old boy saved up several dollars. Not because of luck, not because he was smarter than every other kid. He simply took action. Early 1941, the world was at war. Europe was on fire. Germany was fighting Britain and the Allied powers. Japan was expanding its reach across Asia. The war was growing more brutal by the day. It had not yet reached American soil, but in the newspapers, war was already there on every page. At that time, Warren was 11 years old. Over the years, he and his sister Doris had been making money from small jobs. Altogether, they had saved about $120. That was a lot of money for a child back then, about the same as a full month's salary for an average worker. Warren took Doris with him, and together they went to see their father. Then he said,
Dad, I want to buy stock.
His father listened and smiled. Then he took him to see a broker, someone who bought and sold stocks for other people. Because back then, no one could buy stocks on their own.
I'd like to buy city service stock.
Of course, young man. It's $38 a share. How many would you like?
6 shares, please. 3 in my name and 3 in my sister's.
Warren chose Cities Service, an oil company. He had read about it in the newspaper before. He thought it was cheap and had room to grow. After that, Warren checked the stock listings in the newspaper almost every day.
Wow!
What are you smiling at? Did something good happen?
Come look! The city service stock we bought is up!
Did we make much?
A little. Aren't you excited?
I am! When I get rich, don't forget to sell mine too.
Of course!
At first, everything looked good. the stock moved up a little. But before long, something he didn't expect happened. Late in 1941, Pearl Harbor happened. The Japanese military launched a surprise attack on a U.S. naval base. America officially entered the Second World War. That morning, Warren followed his usual routine. He waited for his father to finish reading the newspaper and head out to work.
Are you done yet, Dad? Can I have it? Can I have it?
All right, here. Just don't be too shocked.
The moment he got the newspaper, he turned straight to the stock column. And there it was. The city's service stock he had bought had fallen to $27, nearly 30% lower than the price he had paid. Warren was deeply worried all day long. He could barely focus in class. He could hardly eat his lunch. And inside his chest, his heart felt like a drum beating without stop. And when he got home that evening, he got a very warm welcome from Doris.
Warren, what are we going to do? Hey, it's okay, Doris. Are we going to lose all our money? No, we won't. It'll come back up.
Even as he said that to his sister, deep down, Warren was thinking, if the money really disappeared, he would make it back and repay his sister himself, no matter how long it took. In the end, he didn't sell. He waited and waited as the months slowly passed. One day, as Warren was walking back home, he saw a man reading a newspaper with a story about the growing demand for oil.
Sir, may I take a look?
Kid, if you want to read it, go buy your own.
Please, just for a moment.
Go get one yourself. The newsstand's over there.
When he reached the newsstand, Warren leaned in and read it quietly.
The United States is ramping up weapons production. Oil demand is rising rapidly across the country. City service stock continues to recover, reaching $40.
As soon as he finished reading, he took off running, straight home to find his father.
Dad! Sell it for me!
After fees, he made a small profit, about $5 per share. Doris counted the money and smiled, but still couldn't help complaining.
At least we didn't lose money.
Warren just listened and let out a quiet sigh. But the story wasn't over yet. 1942. Warren stood still, staring at the newspaper. He couldn't say a word. World War II had pushed the oil industry to its peak. Across America, civilian factories were being turned into weapons plants. Oil had become the most important resource. City's service expanded rapidly. It secured contracts to supply oil to the military. The stock soared to $202. He handed the newspaper to Doris, then said with a hint of regret,
We sold. Too early.
We didn't know what would happen.
and that was his first real lesson. The kind that stayed with him forever. Early 1943. Warren was now 13 years old. He had started delivering the Washington Post. He woke up at 4 in the morning, then rode his bicycle through the dark streets of Omaha. No matter how cold it was or how hard it rained, he still had to go. Warren dropped the newspapers into one mailbox after another, house after house. Then he would shout,
Papers here. Papers here.
If he was lucky, sometimes he got tips from kind adults. And even though some days dogs chased after him, Warren still loved the job. Because to him, this was a business of his own. A business that brought in about $175 a month. And in late 1944, Warren filed taxes for the first time. He didn't forget to deduct his $35 bicycle as a business expense, because to him, it was work equipment. When his father found out, he laughed, patted his son on the head, and said,
"Smart thinking, Warren. Never let anything go to waste."
1945. World War II was nearing its end. Germany had lost the war. Hitler had killed himself. The fighting in Europe was over. But in Asia, the war was not yet finished. Even so, the American economy was recovering fast. Some factories stopped making weapons and military supplies and began producing food, goods, and snacks again. People were starting to return to normal life. That year, Warren was 15. He still rode his bicycle every morning, delivering newspapers. Same job, same route, but not the same income. He had grown. He rode faster. He went farther. More customers, more income. One night, Warren sat quietly on his bed, counting his money. A question suddenly came to mind.
If one day I stop riding my bike, will I still have money?
By now, he had saved as much as $1,200. He thought about the stock market back when he was younger. Then he shook his head. This money was still too little, and the stock market felt too risky for him. Then an idea flashed in his mind.
Land.
Warren got up from his bed and hurried to his father's room.
Dad, I want to buy some land.
Both of them turned to look at Warren in surprise. His father got out of bed, gently patted Warren on the head, then said,
All right. But tomorrow, now go get some sleep.
The next morning, his father drove Warren out beyond the city. They headed out into the countryside. The car rolled past dirt roads, open fields, and old wooden fences. There was nothing flashy about it. His father explained how land deals worked, how prices were set, and how the paperwork had to be done. After driving around for most of the day, they finally came across a farm that caught his attention. It was up for sale for $1,200, exactly the amount he had. And on top of that, it was in a very good location. A middle-aged man came out to greet them.
Here to take a look?
Yes.
This is my place. Come on, I'll show you around.
After walking the property for a while, Warren made his decision. He bought it, using all the cash he had saved over the years. That evening at dinner, as the whole family sat eating together, Doris turned to Warren and asked,
Why did you buy a farm? Are you going to raise cattle?
No, I'll have someone else raise them. Then I just wait for the money to come in.
His sister went quiet for a moment, then burst into cheerful laughter.
That's so like you, Warren.
Hey, stop messing up my hair. I'm not a kid anymore.
No matter how smart you get, you'll always be a kid to me.
And that's where our story ends. If you enjoyed it, like, share, and follow for the next episode.